So we got a really nice finish on this. I'm really happy with it. Andy's doing a great job because Andy's smart. Now, if I put the flywheel on, the car would like literally vibrate apart and it would explode the engine in 45 minutes. We've got fenders on the Bugatti and it is starting to shape up to be looking pretty sweet. I really wanted to point out, and Andy actually showed this to me. So he actually said that there is legitimately no straps, no secures, no screws that are holding in the fuel tank in the Veyron. This is where the fuel tank goes. It's so beautiful. I mean, I don't understand how they started the design, right? Like once you see the end product, you're like, wow, that was a great idea. But like, how did they think we're just gonna stuff this into this carbon monocoque and just let it sit there and then we'll build this little cover over it? Basically, there's just essentially some rubber pads on this side and that cover just pushes on these and holds it in place. And this is the fuel tank. It literally weighs, I mean, I don't know, 20 pounds, something like that. It's got about 1.5 gallons of fuel in it too, so it's probably even lighter. But we're going through cleaning everything because there was 10, 12, 13-year-old fuel in here, something along those lines.
That works.
Can you smell it?
Yeah.
It smells terrible, right?
Yeah.
But it doesn't smell like gas. It smells like it smells gross, right? So I think we should powder coat this black though, because it looks super sick in black. All right, I'm joking, but we have powder coated the rest of the stuff. But here's the subframe. Here's all the turbo inlets.
Oh, looks good.
Here's the EGR stuff. And we have our new accessories, as you can see. Look at how beautiful those are. It's pretty epic. Like, we're basically gonna start this thing pretty soon here. Like, it's looking like next week, okay? This is looking really good.
Next week, Andy?
Yeah, we'll start working on it next week.
Yeah. All right, it's time to put the front of this back onto here. We bolted in the majority of the air conditioning system. The blower's on. We're gonna replace that blower motor because we tested it with a battery and it didn't work. That doesn't mean it doesn't work, but it could be like stuck. We've got the wire harness run really nice. I'm gonna replace this piece here, which goes right here. It was so inexpensive, I just thought to replace it, no problem. But yeah, like this costs $30. Like, some Bugatti parts are so crazy cheap, it's unbelievable. We're ready to go to put this on. So we've got to just line everything up. There's this one major piece right here. You just slide it on. This is very heavy. Beer and I are gonna not be able to film this. So we're gonna go ahead and get this taken off and set back on here. It's only been 5 minutes, Beer. That's a success. Look at that, a little bit of jack help. And we are on it. We got a really nice finish on this. I'm really happy with it. It had tiny little bit of oxidation on the front piece right here, but nothing big. We sanded it down, and it was all good. So now we'll just replace these clamps in the front. We'll get all the stuff because it's really easy to do this when it's on the car because things come on and off much easier when they're meant to go somewhere. So we're gonna put all these bolts in. We're gonna get this thing secure, and we're gonna start going at probably the suspension next. Then we'll put the body parts on afterwards because we're ready to go on the body parts. I mean, we have essentially everything here. So we're gonna do suspension today. So we got to put all these mounts on. So on this piece here, look at this. I went ahead and just painted all the mounts black just to look a little better. They look really nice. So we're gonna go ahead and just put all these on. So fast, it's hard to break this thing down. Anyways, I wanted to move it into the light to show you how much progress we made. Beer and I put, mostly Beer, put almost everything on the front together. We've got black mounts, we got black A-arms, we have very nice, beautiful suspension. Everything on the suspension was good. There was no leaks, no issues. It just was a little dirty. We cleaned it up and perfect. Also replaced the fan control modules as well as, I mean, every single piece here is brand new. The only piece that we reused from what you see here is essentially the carbon pieces right? The physical frame itself, which we had retrofitted. We replaced every radiator, so none of the radiators are the original ones that were in the car. They're all new. This ABS module was good. We tested it. I sent it out to one of those ABS places. They checked it all, and it's all perfect. So we have one issue, one really, really, really big issue. $7,000 air conditioner blower. I don't want to replace it. I'm trying to find the part. So here is our blower. Now, this is just the cover. This physical piece in here, the motor is what's bad. Now, if you look at here, it's a SPAL. This is in so many cars, like billions of cars. It's not a big deal. I was gonna think that we could replace just the motor because the resistor, the plug, all that stuff is fine. And this has a part number on it. We haven't been able to successfully find the physical blower part itself, but we're working on it. I'm gonna take this apart today and I'm gonna get this out of here. And I'm gonna put a lot more effort into this because I ordered one on eBay and it's the exact same shape, but it's about this big. So it must have came out of like a little tiny Fiat. But it's the same shape, so I've got good luck here. So we're gonna fix this. This piece, $7,000, I'm not gonna buy that from Bugatti. Bugatti, suck it. No way I'm paying $7,000 for a $40 blower part, okay? I already had to pay the $16,900 for this stupid air conditioner thing in the front, which we had half of. We probably could have pieced it together, but time was the issue in that sense. We've got the battery bracket. We want to connect all of the cables down here because most of that stuff is already up here. We do have headlights for the car. I've got the brand new super sick Vitesse headlights. I can't believe they got them. I'm so excited about those. I won't tell you my source, but I got them and this car is going to look epic. So we've got a Vitesse style bumper, which is over there. So here's our front brake calipers right here. We got beautiful purple Viola Parcife with the Bugatti logos imprinted. These look sick. We just got to rebuild the pistons and stuff in there. But this is the back of the car mostly. I've got one of the rubbers for the door trim. Intake manifold is good. We order brand new injectors. We're waiting on those. You can see in the front here, you know, all of our modules are in. We are going to put the steering rack in. The brake pedal is in. The fuel gas pedal is in. We just need to put the physical I don't even know what this is actually called. This just a bar that runs across here that holds all the rest of the stuff in. So that stuff's looking good. TPMS module, haven't got it from Bugatti yet. That's the last module that we're waiting for. Every module in the car is brand new. We're ready to roll. So, oh yeah, we replaced all the hose clamps. There you go. See, they're all brand new too. And all these hoses because they were actually very inexpensive.
Hey guys, be here with Royalty Exotic Cars. Just wanted to give you guys an update on what we're working on here. We got the brake calipers going back together, just putting all the pistons back in, and we're halfway done here. So we should be putting these back on the car in about maybe less than an hour.
In response to a lot of comments in our videos that have been coming out recently, we have decided to address the dry ice issue and why we didn't use it. In reality, we did use dry ice and several other things. We did a lot of cleaning by hand. We used power tools. We used sand blasting on some parts, and we used dry ice. We don't have a lot of footage of the dry ice for a variety of reasons, and so we can't necessarily show you that. There's two issues with using dry ice, and one of them is the availability. First of all, we don't have a dry ice machine, but they are available locally, and we did rent one. And we had that thing for, I want to say probably about a month. The problem with it is that there's no local source of dry ice. So we had to special order it from California, and there was a lead time on that. So anytime we would order it, it would probably take close to a week before we could actually get it. And then that takes up time on the rental and whatnot. So obviously an issue there. And once you did receive the dry ice, you had to use it immediately because then you have too much of it would melt or evaporate, I guess. sometimes you'd work on the car for a day or two, sometimes an hour or two, and then it'd sit for a while. And so scheduling when you were going to actually be doing the work was not something we could do. One of the other issues is damage to unknown parts. For instance, this little guy right here is a bolt that has a plastic collar around it, and it's typically inset into something. So if you were to have dirt and grime and whatnot over this and you hit it with dry ice, the dry ice will actually damage this plastic, especially some of it that's older and maybe a little bit dried up and fragile to begin with. We know this from experience because it actually happened on multiple parts of the car. The other thing would be things like this. We have plastic washers and spacers that work as like a pivot point with a pen going through them, possibly in your suspension components or one of the wing movements, stuff like that. And until you take those things completely apart, you don't know if these pieces are plastic or whether they're metal or whatnot. For instance, these things are black and they look just like this. This one's aluminum, this one's plastic, this one's plastic, this is obviously plastic, and this is obviously metal. But you're not going to see all of this. What you're going to see is just the edge, just like that, and you can't tell what this is. So if you hit this with dry ice, if you're washing an assembly of something and whatnot, you can actually do damage and break these or chew them up and possibly not even know it. So to be safe, we didn't do a lot of the areas that you would normally do because we were not able to completely disassemble some of the things. For instance, Bugatti would not sell us any gaskets or seals or anything that allowed us to take apart the motor and put it back together. They said, if you're doing internal work, it's got to go to us. You're not doing it yourselves. So we didn't take off the heads. We did not take off the valve covers. And that was not our choice. It just was the way it was. The other thing, and this is kind of a strange one for a Bugatti compared to another car, is that some of the parts were made out of carbon fiber, but you didn't know it until you took it apart and you actually have it, you're holding it in your hands. Things like the rear differential mount and the motor mounts are actually made out of carbon fiber, but when you see them, you don't necessarily think that they are. You think it's just a painted piece of metal, cast aluminum or something. Oh, it's fine to go ahead and attack that with a sandblaster or a dry ice machine or whatever. And we did not have the ability to take the risk because some of these parts are not replaceable easily. Caution was our number one thing when we were doing anything invasive or grinding or cutting or anything. We just had to be careful, and that's all there is to it. So this is the original wheel that came out of the Bugatti, and it was bolted right to the end of the crankshaft, and it's got a couple different features. Number one is the teeth for the starter motor engagement. This engages the starter, turns the motor over so you can start it. And secondarily, it has these guys. These teeth are spaced in such a way that when they rotate around past a sensor, the sensor can sense this spot right here and know which portion of the or what degree of the circle we're talking about. When we ordered this part, it was, we believe, custom made for us. It took us a really long time to get it, and when it arrived, it actually came with all of the paperwork that Bugatti gave to the company that manufactured it. And so we actually have the original paperwork with all the specs on how to build this. You could take the piece of paper into any comparable machine shop, hand it to them and say, make this, and poof, you could have it. We're talking everything, heat treatment, all the dimensions, the type of metal, everything. We ordered it directly from Bugatti, but they didn't, it's not like they had one on their shelf and they just went and said, here you go. They had to send it to their supplier and say, these are the specs we need to make this for us. I'm assuming that is because they probably do not keep old Veyron parts in stock. Whatever they have in stock is probably for their newer vehicles.
Andy's doing a great job because Andy's smart. Now, if I put the flywheel on, the car would like literally vibrate apart and it would explode the engine in 45 minutes. Probably way less time than that. See, Andy's got this whole thing down to a science with a white marker and everything. He read the directions for sure. Look at that.
Currently setting up to put the front bumpers on, which is right there, and also the fenders. Right there. And headlights as well.
2 hours later.
Previously took a video of the fenders off the vehicle.
And now the fenders are on the vehicle.
Now it's
So,
on.
great job here. We've got fenders on the Bugatti and it is starting to shape up to be looking pretty sweet. I really like the look of this, and I almost even like this blue stuff on there. It makes pretty good like color tones, but look at this. I mean, outstanding. We have obviously the adjustments to do and the final tightening. There's none of that done yet. We're just kind of making sure this looks really good, and it absolutely does. So we are looking very good right now. All right, today's job is to dress the engine. Exhaust, manifolds, gaskets, possibly turbos. I doubt we're doing turbos today. It's probably going to be a long time before we get those turbos on. I want to put the intake manifold on. Beer and I just installed the accessory assembly right here, and we took the opportunity to powder coat this nice black. So we've got all new accessories. Every single accessory is new. This piece right here, the alternator, the power steering pump, and it's called like a twin pump. I'm not exactly sure how to explain it other than it does, you know, kind of like the hydraulics and the water and all this other stuff. It's pretty interesting. Let's see. We've got our new dampener on down here. Our diff is about ready to go in, but the problem with the diff is that I want to make sure we can get the exhaust manifolds all in done before I put the diff in, because there's some angles here for these studs that are going to be kind of complicated. So this is the goal today. I think we're going to get this done. It's going to be pretty dope. I'm pretty excited because once you see this kind of thing come together, it's going to come together really quick. Then if you turn around over here, we've got almost the entire interior assembly done. All the air conditioning, all of the little, you know, stuff. We're just going to do the grounds today. We're going to have a little tack weld right there on that air conditioner control unit because Beer broke it. Sucks. I bet you that piece was $20 million too. Unbelievable. Anyways, that's the game plan for today. Thank you, brother.
I'm not sure which way that goes.
I'm excited to put this intake on though. I really can't wait. I've been waiting to use these beautiful gaskets this whole time. I've been wanting to put these on.
Well, that's what we're doing now, so.
So obviously you guys can tell that I powder coated everything on the top of the engine black. It gives it a little more aggressive feel. There was a Veyron made in 08 that was all black. They did every single piece in black. So this was an OEM option at one point, but I've only seen one car like that. And apparently there's two of them. Only one was ever for sale, but pretty cool little mod there.
These are the fuel lines that get connected to the end of the fuel rails right here, and I basically have to install them right now because of all the other piping that goes around them. I won't be able to later. When we took it out of the car, we actually disconnected it here and pulled the motor away from the monocoque, but we're going to do it a different way this time, so it has to be. So I have to put these on before we move forward. This is not its final resting point. There's a tube down here that I've got to connect.
Now this is an interior that I've had for quite a long time before I even owned this car. I had the opportunity to buy a spare Bugatti interior, so why not, right? But it's kind of growing on me, this purple on brown. So my plan is to see what it looks like. So Operation Install Dash today, Install Dash right now, is underway. We've got the cables routed properly, and this main dash brace bar frame piece, I'm not sure what it is, but this is in. It's kind of loose right now. We're going to make sure that we get it all tight because we're gonna put this dash in. Now, this right here is a very, very simple piece to put in. It's only got a couple of screws up here, one right here in the middle, two right here, and that's it. It's very, very simple. We're almost there. We're so close. Man, this feels so good to have the first piece of the interior in. Boom. The dash is in. My goal today was to start this car, but we need to put oil in it still. It's a brand new shifter.